We begin with Argentina. Argentina's midterm legislative elections have handed a decisive mandate to President Javier Milei's party. This is a major win for the libertarian leader, whose reforms have been pushed back by congressional lawmakers. Milei addressed supporters after his party's big victory. The president calls this election outcome a, quote, turning point for Argentina, and vowed to pursue an economic overhaul.
We will not only defend the reforms that have been made, but we will also promote the reforms that are still needed to achieve that future. We want to be a country that grows into the Argentina we should never have stopped being, to make Argentina great again. I would like to highlight the role of the new Congress, which will be fundamental in ensuring this change, of course, starting on December 10th. We will now have 101 representatives instead of 37.
The election mandate comes as a shock to Argentina's opposition and its supporters. Opposition's Peronist leader has rejected the Argentine president's claim to victory, despite official polling results showing a huge setback to the opposition coalition.
Mille and the government are mistaken if they celebrate this election result, in which 6 out of 10 Argentines have said they disagree with the model they are proposing. They are also mistaken if they ignore the situation our people are going through, which is one of enormous suffering, marked by job losses and a decline in economic activity, where companies are closing every day, where the most vulnerable are suffering more and more every day.
Milei's party, La Libertad Avanza, has secured 41.5% of the vote in Buenos Aires province. In contrast, the opposition Peronist coalition has secured 40.8% votes in the province, which at one point was considered its stronghold. In Sunday's midterm election, voters cast their ballot to renew 1/3 of senators and half of deputies in Congress. The election was seen as a crucial test for Milei's presidency, who now has a decisive mandate to push ahead with austerity measures. While following the election result, supporters of Argentinian president celebrated the victory, but opposition supporters are disappointed in the mandate. Take a look at these mixed reactions from the ground.
Today's victory for Javier Milei and Libertad Avanza is also important in that it gives us some indication of the future of the country and the general trend of what is likely to happen in the near future. So there are a lot of things that are starting to fall into place, and perhaps the most important thing is that they won in the province of Buenos Aires, which is where you can see what people really want or need, and you can also see a little bit of what is coming in 2027. I know that is a long way off, but we are thinking about it.
And with regard to its importance, which is fundamental, crucial, this year's Congress has come out strongly against Milei's project, almost in a coup-like manner. It has attempted to undermine the main thrust of Milei's government, which is fiscal balance, with a set of measures aimed at breaking that fiscal balance. And well, this will give him the strength and ability to confront what was happening in Congress.
What I don't understand is people who are voting against their own interests. What we are voting for are our representatives who make the laws that govern our daily lives. That's what I don't understand.
And even though the results may not be favorable, which is what people are saying, the people should continue to turn out at the polls, vote, choose, and well, keep working if we lose, so that, in 2027, with unity, Peronism have to come together.
So what does this mean for Argentinians going forward? Because there is some claim that US President Donald Trump, who's a fan of Javier Milei, and Javier Milei was actually at the White House a few days ago where he met President Trump. Trump could have had a role to play in these elections, but we do not know now that Milei, who is known to lead by decree and offer some of his intensive and austerity measures to his people, will now have a green light or a go-ahead as he speaks, or now that he has the numbers at the Senate and also at the Congress. Christopher Hale is a political analyst. He's now joining us live from Chicago. Mr. Hale, thank you very much for your time, and it's good to see you. How much of a contribution do you think Trump had in this election and in Milei's triumph? Or do you actually think that Trump played a role in this?
I do. I think he really had two effects here. Domestically, obviously, the promise of funds was so important for Mille. He made that argument to Trump. He went and asked for it in the context of the election, and President Trump made it very clear that he gave him that money so that he could win re-election. So I think that's number one in the international affairs and giving the resources. But also, two, I think that this is part of this global populist wave that Mille has been able to really make himself a part of. And so I think that the stronger that he was able to pull himself within that, I think was very important for his victory. So I think that he owes Donald Trump a tremendous amount for this victory. As much as it hurts me to say as a Democrat, I think that Trump really helped him get over the top here.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Hale, what does this mean for Milei and Argentinians going forward? Because Milei is known to lead by decree. Now that he has the backing of Congress and the Senate, how do you think Argentina will look like going forward?
I think the first and most important thing is he can no longer argue that he does not have the resources, he doesn't have the political capital, he doesn't have what he needs to win to govern his mandate. So I think that it's going to be important for him to deliver. I think if he does not deliver, the Argentinian people will blame him. Look, I mean, Argentina has had 40, 50 years of economic instability, of corruption, political failure. So he has promised a lot, but I don't think his voters will be happy unless he delivers on that promise. So I think the pressure's on. I think that, when you pick up one side of the stick, you pick up the other. And the other side of the stick here is an electoral victory. And so he's going to have to deliver. I'm skeptical that he will be able to, but that's going to be the mandate that he has, and he's going to be judged upon.
All right, Christopher Hale, it's good to see you. I'll let you go for now. Thank you very much for talking to us today.